Puno hvala, moram malo na hrvatskom da namjeste mikrofon. Sad da maknem malo. Ili bliže. Ok, super. Mogu se prebaciti na engleski onda. Evo krećemo. Kratka priča. This is an honest story. And it's a story about struggle I currently have with my friend. It's a dear friend of mine. It's a guy that I grew up with. It's the guy that's not a bad guy, but he cannot help himself. He's constantly lying to me. And when I catch him that he lies, he tells me, I'm done. I'm never gonna lie to you anymore. And I believe him. He's a friend. Okay, so he lies, for example, about things that you don't need to lie about. He was telling me that he was the most popular kid in elementary school. And I believed, why not? He's a friend. Why shouldn't he be? However, on a family gathering, on his birthday, his mother was telling that he is actually was a very shy kid. He was not popular. He would blush going to the school, and he was very awkward with meeting new people. And I asked him, why are you lying about those things? It was so long ago. I don't care. I like you. You're my friend. Why do you lie about your life narrative? I didn't get an answer that satisfies me. He would also lie about the things that are related to his lifestyle. He would tell me that, wow, I'm all onto ketosis, you know, the keto diet. He's not eating sugar. Sugars are bad. When I would eat sugar, he would tell me that that's something I shouldn't do. The sugar is killing the connection between the body, mind, and spirit, blah, blah, blah. And I said, okay, it's your choice. So one Friday, we went out, we drank a bit, and we went to his apartment to watch a movie. I found a bunch of chocolates all over the apartment in a trash can. And I said, why are you lying that you are living a lifestyle you're not living? And again, no answer that satisfied me. And he would also lie about stupid things like, dude, I want to go on a pool before work. So will you join me? Yeah, of course. See you tomorrow in 7 a.m. And he never showed up. So are you going to come tomorrow? Tell me. Yes. Tuesday, nothing. Wednesday, nothing. And again, I don't understand why is he so inconsistent. And this is something I'm not even sure should I share because of the TED guidelines. But he was supposed to write my TED Talk. And he was supposed to write my TED Talk until end of August. So I have time to prepare and say something good to you. And the end of August came and I asked him, hey, how's it going? Just finishing. Okay, cool, send me tomorrow. Few days passed, how are we standing? Just there. And I became anxious, I need to give a talk. He was supposed to write. Nothing happens. 3 days ago, I was crazy. Send me something, nothing. And he started writing and thinking and writing. You know when he sent me the last text? 1 hour ago. And obviously, the friend that lies to me is me. I am someone who's lying constantly to me about my life story, about what I'm going to do tomorrow, and I lie to other people because I tell things I believe to be true. And then the question is, what's true? How can I know what's true? I mean, we are just animals that are living in a world that's more and more built for robots. And between our old environment and the new environment, we created the language. Language helps us package our existence into words that became phrases. When we repeat them, they become common. They become common sense. And we don't question things that are common sense. So that's the problem with knowing anything in this life, especially for me who's living from trying to know anything about people in this world. And bigger problem is the future. So when they told me the topic is the future of the TED Talk, I was like, oh, I don't know anything about future. I feel so incompetent to tell you anything about future because I'm so wrong about myself on a daily level. How can I tell you the future of something? There is no chance. So then I said, okay, if I cannot tell you anything about future, I can tell you something about the mistakes I did in past. I can tell you about how testing the things that I consider to be common sense helped me reveal something which is not true. So those things I call temporary truths. Those are things I believe to be real for a few months, maybe a year, who knows. But I don't take them for granted. And you're going to probably recognize some of the things that everyone is telling. In our region here, when you visit your countryside, your grandmother always gives you all the food she can. She fills the plate. I said, I'm done. No, eat more. She fills the plate. I'm done. No, you're not. Eat more. You need to eat everything on your plate. Because you should never throw food. Because there are some people who are hungry, so it's better to stuff yourself than throw the food. And then, by listening to the advice of my grandmother, I lose the connection with my body. I don't know when I should stop eating. You put a horse in front of me, I'm going to eat it. You put a little bit, I'm going to eat it. We lost the connection with our bodies by following the advice of the previous generation. The common sense is, don't maybe listen to everything your grandmother says to you. I know people who are unemployed who are telling me that I should read daily news. I don't read any daily news. And they are telling me I'm missing out about so many things because I don't know what's going on. They are unemployed. At the same time, having the time to read it. And the need for information is like flourishing. There is the whole thing about big data. Have a lot of data, have a lot of insights. You're going to be smarter. More data you have very often makes you more stupid because you cannot zoom out, and someone who works with data can tell you that you cannot zoom out and find the principles. One very concrete example, if you want to do something good for your body, don't measure your weight every hour. Going on the Facebook, going on the news portals every hour, a few times a day, is like stepping on a scale and trying to understand your body in every hour by hour. So the common sense here, be informed. I'm thinking and I'm saying and I'm living, be uninformed. You're going to learn much more about the world because you're going to find a signal among the noise. The thing I discovered somehow by being on my first job is that smokers have special privileges. They can go outside on a balcony, they can take the cigarette, look around, and everyone thinks that's perfectly normal. When I went outside and just look at the sky as way as do, I was weirdo. I was ashamed, like I'm just sitting looking at the sky, regenerating. That's not normal. And I said, that's normal. I don't need excuse to regenerate myself in the middle of the day. Similar to this is when people are staying in the office and pretending to work 9 to 5 and rather being on Facebook than just looking at the ceiling and try to think a bit. So this is false. They also told me that like you should know your real skills. You should be very accurate about what you can achieve. And I thought, okay, maybe. So, because when I was 20 years old, I wanted to go in Paris for 4 months. I didn't have any money. I didn't have a way to be there in Paris. So I found a group of writers who was writing on French, and I asked them, can I just be here with you and kind of write in Croatian and just like learn to write a bit, etc. And they told me, come. And I come. And then there was a course, there was a competition organized by the French director, a legendary theater director, who writes the best story from all the world. He's going to be invited to play in the theater and write a screenplay with him. So I wrote a short story, and my friend translated it. And they sent me an email, this is the best story, you need to come to Paris and work with us. Your French is awesome. Your written French is incredible. We just want to check how is your conversational French. Okay, of course, you can do that. So they gave me a call, and my friend answered on perfect French and said, wow, you come, everything is paid. You work 4 months in Paris in a theater with us. And I was like, yes. And then I forget for 2 months about that. So now I'm in a train going for Paris to write a screenplay for a theater play in a language I don't know. And I don't know how to act, by the way. So I start to panic, and I'm opening a dictionary, somehow believing that I should know those words, at least some. And I'm opening the dictionary, I don't know a word. Of course, I never studied French. So what I did, I called my friend and told him, please, tell me exactly how to memorize. I'm a psychologist, I'm very shy, please leave me alone for 2 weeks, okay? So it was playing an artistic side. And he told me, and I just memorized, je suis Boris, je suis étudiant. Like, I just tried to say it perfectly. And they said, I don't speak very well, so I apologize. And they were like, how humble he is. Like, he's a psychologist, he's an artist. That's so great. So after a week, I told everyone, who are not organizers, of course, that I don't speak any French. And they were like, okay, you're crazy, but you stay with us. On the second week, the director was giving me concrete instructions where my answer, regular answer to him was, oui, je comprends. Wasn't enough. And he's telling me something, and oui, je comprends. And he starts to understand, I don't understand. And I'm starting to be red and shame, and he starts to be angry. He's an 80-year-old guy who survived the concentration camp. And everyone around was waiting for that moment for whole time. And he said, you're done, we're gonna sue you. Tomorrow come to speak with us. I'm 20-year-old in Paris, they're gonna sue me. So what to do? I didn't know. They came and they told me, you are a guy from Croatia, Tito, funny enough, invested in his theater play in '68. And Pero Kvrgic played in that, Croatian actors. So you're going to stay here, you're going to learn French, and you're going to participate in this event. So again, I did something I didn't plan, I didn't believe, I didn't overthink, and I wasn't questioning my abilities because there were no abilities to do so. So yes, you can do that. Give it a try. One thing I discovered is that because I'm not good at languages, I hate learning languages. It's boring for me. I like talking to people, but I hate learning. So I was not very good in the language. But one insight I gained from a girlfriend when we were very young in elementary school, she told me that for her, it's much easier to be honest on English than Croatian. And I didn't understand, like, how come your English is also not perfect? And then, like, growing up, I started to write a dictionary in English. And I realized if I know language very bad and write about myself, I can say such honest things, such dirty things that I cannot kind of rationalize in my own language, Croatian language. So when you write a dictionary, try to use the language that's not your native. People who change their opinions are shallow. That's the thinking when you are young, when you are in puberty, when you're listening to the rap music. It's all about principles. It's all about being true to yourself. It's all about you never gonna change. You're gonna stay underground forever. So I believed that you should never change. It was completely opposite to the thing I like to learn, and I like kind of to investigate the world. So this is the thing that I believe having the fixed attitude is one of the curses of the mind. So my discovery was I should change constantly because the change is only constant. And this one is very personal. It was like, if you truly love your girlfriend, you will have no need for solitude. You will be constantly connected, either by phone, either physically. So when I was 17, my professor, she showed me the picture of Nepal, because she was with Buddhist monks in Nepal. And I said, the first opportunity I have, I'm going to go there for 3 months. The opportunity came when I was 21, and I was in a relationship there then. And my girlfriend was going crazy that we're going to separate. My feeling of separation, because I loved her every day, because I was connecting with myself and kind of disconnecting from everyday chaos, I started to love her more and more day by day. Started to see all the little things that she gave to me. So solitude can actually help you understand why you love other people. That's the power of being disconnected every now and then. And this is something very hard to describe when you enter into relationship. I need a few days to love you more. Very hard. It's a very hard sell, but I think it's important to try to give it a sell. Yeah, so one of the things is that somehow when I was in the startup community, I managed to enter into World Economic Forum in Davos. And I didn't have any money for the suits, and suits are not kind of my thing. So they all told me, like, buy something, buy shirt, buy suits. There are, billionaires, noble people, and some random guys like you, but you should at least pretend that you have a suit. I didn't have a suit. I couldn't pretend. So I printed the shirts with like almost high school stupid things here. walking around billionaires and like, can we hard code wisdom on a chip? Can we put wisdom on a chip? Stupid questions like that, and signed by behavioral Boris. And I'm just like walking around like this. So I remember a guy who approached me, Michael, a big guy, asked me, Boris, what does that mean? And I invented something that was completely stupid. And he said, wow, it was a very nice story, nice to meet you. And he was Michael Dell. So like, you can speak with the people like random and intrigue them just by being obviously authentic or different there. So yes, you can walk around World Economic Forum just wearing t-shirt with prints. If you make your mom cry, you did something wrong. All my good decisions in life, not to go to gymnasium, but very shitty school, she cried. I decided to study history of art. She cried because you cannot get employed by studying history of art. Then I said, I don't like that, I'm going to psychology. She cried because I will find a job even later. And then I got the first job. I quit, she cried. I started the company, she cried. So if your mama cries for something, it's not necessarily a bad thing. Like, believe thing that guides you inside. She's gonna kill me when she sees this. Okay, people who never read the book will probably have a manual job. The first book I read was when I was 18 years old. I'm a very slow reader. And the way I read, just because I was slow, is to read the sentence, get tired, and think about how to apply that sentence in real life. And that made me, for me, not read on informational level, but experiential level. So I feel like book for me is not education, but training, because I go through it with my own experience. The best way to impress a date is to tell impressive stories. This is so wrong. I was on the most boring date in my life. I was on a date with a woman that just spoke about herself. I was so bored, I asked her 3 questions. I'm coming home, semi-depressed, and she's sending the message, you are the most interesting person I ever met. People love to speak about themselves. Just give them the opportunity and they're gonna love you. Okay, so you don't need to impress anyone, just ask questions. Successful people, right? There is a way to be successful. They're organized, they are rational, they are this, they are that. A friend of mine, he has 28 years. He's the most successful person I know. He comes to my place with Lamborghini. You wouldn't employ him in any company. So ignore the advices about how should you be to achieve something. And this is something you learn for the people who are very successful and around you. I'm going to skip this one because I don't believe in this one. If your Google start with big purpose, no, solve problem, then invent the purpose to hire people. Okay, the game of chess is metaphor for life. Good metaphor? No. Chess is a well-defined game with rules, and life is not a well-defined game. So don't be good at chess. Just observe people around yourself. Happy people stay happy, but avoiding sad people. The happiest person I know is a 26-year-old woman that volunteers with people who are terminally ill. You don't need happy people around yourself to be fulfilled. The more TED Talks you watch, the better for you. Not. Observe people, just don't watch and consume materials all the time. In the end, common sense is put into the words, and words define your world. So please, just try to uncommon common sense every now and then and find your own truth by looking yourself and people around yourself. Oof, done. Thank you.